Hey everyone. Oh, I'm going to be standing up a lot tonight, so I don't know if you'll be able to see me on the screen or not. I'm just going to pull up my Facebook and make sure I put my laptop on a little TV tray, so hopefully be able to see it better. Get more room on the table because I'm doing 2 shirts tonight for Mason, actually for Mom to wear to Mason's games. And Facebook is updating. Oh, did it pretty quickly tonight. All right, not too bad. Okay, so if you do get on, go ahead and hit like or comment, just so that I know that you're out there, and pass along the video. Okay, so these are the 2 different sizes that Chalk Couture has for ink pads. Since I have 2, I'm going to use 2 because I'm going to do 2 different shirts, and then just for time's sake, I won't have to switch things around too much. I'm using stencils that I created using my Ikonart. Sorry, the cats are distracting me now. So that's why they're purple, because these are ones that I created, and I use Canva to come up with, they have a lot of free designs on there, but you can also purchase designs. So I'm going to do for Mason, he's number 2, he's always number 2, so I'm going to do number 2 on the back of one shirt, and then tomorrow night I'm going to finish the other side of the shirt because I need to give it like a good 24 hours to dry. And then I've got their names, so let me pull it out so you can kind of see what it's going to look like. So the front of the shirt is going to look like this. It's going to say Mason, like half a baseball Mason, and then a batter. And then the 2 is going to be on the back. The other shirt is going to have him as a pitcher, and with the 2 on the back. So it'll be 2 different, and they're going to be 2 different colors because his team wears different colors on. So one color's on Saturday and one color's on Sunday. So one's like a baby blue, the other one's like a Clarkson green. So I'll push those to the side. And the shirts that I've been getting, I've actually been getting them through Beware. B-W-E-A-R. This white one is actually, yeah, this white one is from them too. So this is an extra large, which is a pretty big extra large, but it's for Mom, so she won't have to worry about it, and it gets really hot down south, so you don't want anything too clean. And then, so on the white, we're gonna do the baby blue, which is the ocean mist. And then on the dark gray, we're gonna do the green, which is, I'm probably going to mix a little black with this because I want it to be the Clarkson green, which is more like an evergreen. So I probably am going to mix up those 2 colors. Right. And the awesome deal that I got on these through Beware, it was $1.99 for the t-shirts. And they're like, the white one is really thick. The gray one's not as thick, but they're all Jersey's brand, so they're pretty good. Well, it says the gray is tri-blend, and then this one is dry power, ring spun. So it explains the different material. But go ahead and set this aside. Hey, Lucy. So get that one out of the way. So I'll do the white one first, and I'll use this for the 2 on the back because it's thinner or skinnier than the other one. So I haven't used this ink one yet. I made sure I got both sizes because the pillows are like, you can get like little burlap kind of like canvas pillows and drill them with the designs, and they're at 18 by 18, and this will work with them well because each piece is 17 by 17. Yeah, 17 by 17. And I won't be putting it back inside this because it's got a plastic cover on it to protect it, the stickiness. All right, so let me get this out. And I will be washing my transfers right away instead of leaving them in the bucket, just because they're not Chalk Couture transfers. Chalk Couture ones you can just go ahead and leave right in there. It's not gonna hurt them really. I've never had anything happen to mine for leaving them in there. I've never left them all night, but actually I did once because I forgot and got distracted. But they were fine. They're thicker material. So I'm just gonna put this there. I'm just making sure I get it where I want. And then just because the ink mat is sticky, I'm just pulling it across. Try to get it nice and make sure it's nice and flat. You can always iron your stuff first. I'm not super worried about it. I'm not selling this or anything, so if mom's unhappy with something, it's fine. I'll deal with it and make her another one. I mean, the shirt only cost me $1.99, and I made the stencils myself. So if you do have something like you have a kid playing baseball or hockey or whatever, because I know when we were playing hockey, we would love to get like a shirt with our name on it, even if it's just like the last name, like a jersey. I can do all that. And I've gotten better and better at making my stencils. So the front of his is going to be like this. And then really you could put the baseball on either side. I can put the baseball on the other side for the other shirt and she can tell the difference between them. And I'm going to set this over here because the 2 is going to go on that shirt. All right. So I'm just trying to get it right about, I want Mason right in the middle of the shirt. And just down a little bit. Okay. And you can, if you're worried about it, you can always tape off areas. I've done this several times. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel. These ones are different to peel, but if you just roll it, it rolls pretty much off the edge. But I do need to label the back because these ones are clear plastic backings, so it's really hard to tell which side you should be sticking it on. So let me go ahead and see if my chalk marker works on it, because the other ones don't work very good. Nope, it doesn't work very good on the back of the plastic. So where is my marker? Right back. Just so I can tell which side is the back when I go to put it back on afterwards. I'm going to wash it pretty much right away. So. And I think I am going to put a little bit of painter's tape on it. I think this is the first time I've used this before. I can't remember if I've used this on, if I've inked with these stencils yet, with the purple ones. I have to try. I have a couple of different colors, they're different stickiness. But I am going to grab out some of my painter's tape, and I'm going to put just a line across the bottom so that when I go to line the next one up, it'll be nice and even, I hope. More or less using it as a guide. I'm going to put it right under where the N is and go right straight across. So that way when I go to put this on afterwards, I have I'm going to use this as a guide. It's right under where these start. Right. Sit back over here. And to get out my Ocean Mist, which is the baby blue. Paper towel down here just to make sure I don't get anything on the shirt. And I'm just going to use a regular mini squeegee because this one it's got a big mesh open area here, but not anything where I would need to use like the small squeegee, which is really like a large size squeegee. This one I probably could, but when I do the 2 for the back, I will use this one. You know, it just makes it easier. And with ink, try to go just one direction. That'll help with bleeding. And I'm just going over it. Ink stays wetter longer, so you've got more time to work with it. Hey, Melissa. I did find the design. They post, somebody in the Ikonart group posted where they got the Easter leaner design. So I will be able to print that one out and hopefully be able to get a good one on it. So stay tuned for that. So this awesome Easter one, it's a little welcome porch leaner, but it's got like bunny ears on it and a little bunny tail for the O, and I should have put tape on the edge here because This baseball player is pretty close to the edge. Just have to be careful not to go over the edge. And then just scraping off my excess. With the ink, I don't put on as much as I do with the chalk paste, just because you want to make sure you put the ink on pretty evenly. And now I'm pretty much ready to pull it up. And I'm just going to watch as I pull it up, because if anything gets stuck in the transfer, I'm going to push it right back down and put more blue on it. And I didn't need to, so I'll put this here and a little silk screen transfer. I did get over the edge a little blue there, so I am just going to spray that a little bit, but I also want to wash this. Towels here. I've discovered that it doesn't matter how big of a desk I get, it's never going to be big enough. So, oh, I bet I could find one that says Swim Mom. I'll take a look and I'll see what I can put together for you. It's good to see that she finally gets to get back in the pool. With if you ever end up purchasing one of the silk screen transfers that I make, you pretty much want to clean it right away. And then put it on the backer when it's still wet. That's completely different from the Chalk Couture ones. But these do seem to clean off quicker. The material feels more glossy on top than the Chalk Couture material, and it's not as thick as the Chalk Couture. So it'll be interesting to see if these ones last as long and as many times as the chalk. But it cleans up really quick and easy. And then I'm just going to go over the back side just to make sure I got it good. You really just want to make sure you get the mesh screen area clean. And these are kind of like, the font that I used for the names got nice fancy little lines at the bottom, but it washed out nice for me, so. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and put the backer on. And it's still a little wet, which is perfectly fine for the purple ones that I make. Not the Chalk Couture ones, let them dry before you put them back on. They are the teal colored ones. Oh, being difficult for me. There we go. All right. So that's how I let these ones dry. So it's on there, it's pretty much dry. I mean, it doesn't hold a lot of water on it anyways. Get any air bubbles I have in there out, and then set to the side to dry. All right, we did get, I'm going to grab one of my little Q-tips from the Q-tip jar. Put that back here. And I'm going to try to get that little bit off. It's just a little small piece of, you can barely, I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't really notice it, but I'm just going to try to get it off. The sooner you try to get it off, the more likely it is to come off. I mean, you can see it's not the ink that you're seeing, it's the black ink mat underneath. But it looks like I got all that blue off. It was just a little piece of blue. So now I can do this half of the baseball. And remember, when you're doing materials like cloth and stuff like that, don't fuzz up the transfer. You want it to be as sticky as possible. And I forgot to write back in it. I'm using my tape as a guide for where to place the bottom of my baseball. And the ink is likely going to stay wet for about I don't know, I haven't timed it, but they usually say just give it a good 24 hours and then you're good to heat set it. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my blue again, my baby blue, and just start inking it. And I did just go over the edge again. I really gotta get better about putting tape around it when it's close to the edge. So don't be afraid to add painter's tape to the edge of your stencils if you're worried. I'm not super worried about it, obviously. So this will finish off this shirt for tonight, and I'll hang it up to dry. And then tomorrow night we'll put the 2 on the back of this one in this color of Ocean Mist, which is the light baby blue. It's the closest I have to the Carolina blue, and his baseball team one of the days pretty much has the, I mean, they're North Carolina, so obviously their blue is the Carolina blue. Whoops. That in there. It's a good thing to check your fingers for ink when working with ink before you try to pull off any transfers, because if you have it on your fingers, likely you're going to get a fingerprint on it. All right, let's see. One little spot here. Let's see. One little spot here. It looked like it got like a little clump in it, so I'm going to go over that. And so if you see any areas that look like they didn't go down the way you wanted, or look a little lighter than others, just push it right back down and pop some more wet stuff right on. So that's why you want to pull it up slow, so you can kind of see what's going on. Yeah. Let's see. The cats are having fun out in the front porch. So when I did that, I did smear some blue. That was my bad. So before I do anything with this, I'm just gonna go ahead and rub that out. And it's coming right off. The sooner you do it, the sooner you are to likely get anything off of it. This is a light blue on a white shirt, so it's coming off pretty easily. So just be careful what's on your fingers and the edge of the transfer. All right, so I'm gonna clean this one now. Cleanup is pretty easy. If you're ever not sure you got it all, just hold it up to the light and make sure that you can see through the silk screen okay. Get this bottom area to stand a bit more just to make sure I got it good. Squeaky. Squeaky's good. That's what you want to hear. It means it's still sticky. Okay. Pop this back on this. Oops. Making sure I don't have any air bubbles in there. I'm done with that one for tonight. Okay, so go ahead and take this one down. So this is what I did the other night, so now it's dry so I can heat set it. And I usually just wait till I get like several things to heat set and do them all at the same time. It's just easier for me to get out my easy press that way. All right, so I'm done with the light blue for tonight. Just stuck my fingers in it, of course. Hi. go ahead and feel free to hit like or comment and say where you are, where you're from. Okay. I'm just going to pull this one off the ink mat so I can hang it up. So I just pulled it up a little bit and sliding my hand underneath so it can't stick back to the ink mat. So I can get the ink mat out of here without smearing any ink. Depending on the thickness of the shirt, you could feel this one, it went through a little bit, but not a lot. That's the purpose of the ink mat, will keep it from going on the back side of the shirt. I'm going to put the two. So, hang this up here. And let that dry. And while this is still wet, I'm just going to try to clean up the board a little bit. Just take off any ink that's sitting on it. It also would have picked up lint from the shirt, so you can pre-wash your shirts, but you don't have to. Super sticky. Alright, so I'm going to grab the cover. It's okay. So I'm done using this one for tonight. Whoop. Stick it to the side. This one fell. Where did you fall? Okay. Okay. Let's slide this over a little bit. Got my painter's tape in the garbage. And I'm going to grab the other shirt because I'm going to put the two on the back of the other one, and then tomorrow night I'll do the front of the other one. Make sure I grab the right one out. Okay, so this is extra large in a dark gray. It's like a dark heather gray. And this time, I'm going to put the thin mat underneath it, because that's all I really need for the two. And this is really long, so you could always cut it to smaller pieces depending on what you're planning on inking. This is a little bit thicker shirt, like the white one. It's the drip power, dry power as well. So, okay. Right. I've used this mat a couple times. I think the hardest part of inking the shirt is getting it on the ink mat because it wants to stick to it as you're trying to put it on. So, let's try to get it in. Oh, and I did it backwards. No one told me I was doing it backwards, so I want to do the back side with it too. So, here we go. So I'm just pulling the tag up so I can see where it is. I want to try to center it as best I can. Yes, my arm is sticking to it. The ink mats are really sticky. So if you ever use a Cricut mat, they're way stickier than Cricut mats. Tell where my tube's going to be. I'm going to have it right about here. Make sure I'm pulling my shirt tight just to get any wrinkles out of it. Here. Put it right here. Logan's going to be a little more complicated when I do his because his is going to have 99. That's his number, 99. fill my 2 up. But before I'm gonna do it in the green and see. I might end up adding a little black to the green because his green is kind of like the Clarkson green, which is more of an evergreen. So depending on how the regular green meadow looks, I might add some black to it in areas to make it look darker, but it does have a black dark gray background, so it might be okay. And what did I do with my green? Put it over here with my black. Alright, so I got my black out just in case I need it. Because my green is pretty green. Alright, I will do a little mixing. So now that they've changed the paste formula, we don't really need we don't really need the stir sticks for stirring out the paste anymore. I mean, you can just to make sure it's even in the jar. So we'll probably end up using these more for mixing colors and using paint by putting them in or saving stuff by putting them in the little paint jars or getting them out of the paint jars if you're trying different colors. And I am going to put a piece of tape at the top of this because the 2 is really close to the edge. So I'm going to be smarter this time. And as a precaution, put down some painter's tape to help hold. Just so I'm not so nervous going close to the edge on the areas where I cut my transfer close to the edge. I want to get as much for my money as possible. So I'll add there just in case I go over. And I'm going to add, so I'm going to take some of my green ink, which I have used before. I used it on the Life is Better in the Country when I made the towel. I'm just going to take some of it out. The ink, the only time I've ever stirred the ink is because if it shipped in the jar, or like I dropped the jar and it was on the lid or something. So I'm putting plenty of green on there. And then I'm going to add some black to it. I'm not putting as much black because black will really start to darken things. So let's see, I'm going to try to see if I can get like an evergreen kind of Clarkson color going here. So keep in mind like a color wheel and stuff when you're starting out and the colors that you choose, because you have the option to mix them together like this to get other colors that you want. So obviously I think that the Shimmer Frost, which is the white glitter, is a good one to start with too, because you can turn any regular paste color into a glitter just by adding that. You don't even have to add a lot of it because it's white, and so as long as you keep having enough dark colors. Okay. So pretty much what I've done is I've taken the metal green and I've turned it into like the Clarkson green. I'm not sure how well you can see that. So I've got the color that I want. Hopefully I have enough. If not, I'll mix up some more. Just gonna set that over there. I don't want it to touch anything. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna get my squeegee and start with my green. Now watch, I did this and I did the Clarkson green like she wanted, and she's gonna say it's too dark. I know she's gonna say it's too dark. This is obviously a huge mesh screen area. But remember, you don't have to put ink or paste, whatever you're using, ink on clothes. On the purple area or teal area, if it's a Chalk Couture transfer, because that's just a waste. You're just going to scrape it right back up. So you really only need to cover the mesh screen areas. Let's see if I'll have enough. I'm pretty close. I might be a little short on it. take down. I think I'm gonna have to mix up a little bit more. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to mix up a little bit more. Alright. But you have more time to play with it, so that's what I'm gonna do. Grab a little bit more black off of here. Into there. And then another stir stick to get some fresh green out. I think this is pretty much like 2 parts green, 1 part black. I didn't measure it, but that's pretty much what it is. Alright. So I'm going to mix up a little bit more to get my collection green. I should have done more because what I can do, when I do the other side of the shirt, I'm going to need to mix up this color tomorrow too. So I might pre-mix it in advance. And put in a jar so that I have extra, because likely I'll be making more shirts for people for his team, well, for us to wear to support him in the States. Making sure I don't have any bright green stuck in there. Alright, so I'll smear. You can, I mean, obviously you can go like this too, but you're going to want to take the squeegee to clean it up, scrape off any excess. And anywhere you see lines, like streaky lines that you had, go over it again with a squeegee because those lines will pop through on the transfer. So let me see how this is looking when I go to pull it up. And clean the inks off my fingers. Pull off. I'm going to lift up from the bottom this time, since that's where I finished off. Well, it's pretty even. Right. Okay, I'm just going to pick up my little mess here. Actually, I probably will end up mixing some colors before the night's done, so I don't have to do it tomorrow. So I'm going to set that there. That's my green. Okay. So, did get the Clarkson too. I don't know if she's going to like it or think it's too dark or not. I'll send her a picture and see what she thinks. I can always go back over it with just the green. I'll do that before I mix up my color. But you can see certain areas look greener than others. That's because the top part, remember I stopped to mix up some more color. So this top part started to dry. I mean, it's still wet. If I stuck my finger in it, I'd get green all over it. That's why the dark part looks, the bottom part looks a little darker because it's fresher. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull this off. You might just want the regular green on the front. I'm gonna have to show her. But I think since it's such a dark gray that it will, can't really see it too much, but it's getting dark in here. So I'll see what it looks like in the daylight. So unless they're playing a night game under the lights, they'll be in the daylight. Okay. Woo. Make sure the colors don't touch. There it is. so I just have to clean this up. Clean both of them up. Oh, I got them here. This one still has a little burlap on it from the little burlap incident where I used the wrong stuff. Looked like hay all over it, but each time I clean it, it gets a little bit more comes off. And it's still really sticky. So, I mean, the ink mats are well worth the price of them. Well worth the price. And if you can't get up the ink that you just put down on it, it's not a huge deal. It doesn't, it's still really sticky. I just like to try to clean it up as best as I can. So set that to the side so I can clean this. And wrap these two up here so I can actually sit down to do it before my back starts to get sore. Set the backer there. And I can see as I'm spraying it that it's already starting to clean itself and go through to the towel. Ink will stain this towel. It's still going to be able to be used fine. So if you are looking for any stencils to do yourself, you can always let me know because I can always create a stencil for you, and but you can still use like the Chalk Couture ink. A lot of people that make their own Ikonart stencils are using Chalk Couture for the chalk paste and for the ink. It's the ones that they've searched around and like the best. So that was good to hear. That I chose the right company for my ink and paste. Okay, and I'm just going to hold this up to make sure it looks clean, and it does. I'm going to put it back on the backer because I'm going to use it again tomorrow night for the back of the other shirt. I can kind of see my two from when I printed it on here, so. Ooh. I did buy some blank backers from Chalk Couture. I haven't used them yet. I'm wondering if they'll work better on the back of these. Just because these are really thin, clear plastic, but I don't know. I'll try it. I'll do like a test case with a small transfer, like maybe a small baseball one or something. I don't want to have to use a whole sheet again to do like a big number like this. All right, so that's all done and clean. Top on this. Does anybody have any questions? There is a transfer by Chalk Couture that has pretty much anything you could want for baseball or any sport. It's called MVP Sports. MVP Sport. MVP Sports is the store up here. There's actually an athletic store up here called that. Where it's got obviously all the different kinds of team stuff on it, but it also has numbers so you can easily make your own signs and everything to go along with it. Right. So everything's cleaned up. How long did that take me? Okay, so it only took like 38 minutes to do 2 shirts and clean the transfers, and I mixed up my own color. Tomorrow night or after work, I might just go ahead and do them and do the other side, and then show you how to heat set them. So I can heat set with Easy Press, but I will tell you how to do it with an iron, because I know Easy Presses aren't cheap, but they're so convenient. So if it's something that you're doing a lot, or if you have a Cricut, then you might already have an Easy Press, because it's how you like heat set the vinyl and stuff that you use. All right, I am going to sign off, and I don't know. garbage out tonight. But hopefully you enjoyed like the 60+ degree weather today, and that it doesn't go away, that it just stays. The cold weather is done. All right. Okay, thanks for watching, and let me know if there's anything you're interested in or designs you're looking to see. And then like, comment, and if so, you can sprinkle the video, which kind of means, you know, show it to other people. Hit that share button. Bye.